Hey, so it happened again. You messed up on the high notes. You had the crack, the break, and the strain, and you just wish you could nail them and sound like, hey, every single time that you go for those notes in the stage or in the studio. Hey, my name's Isaiah Harris. I'm a vocal coach. My average students start singing higher, pain, strain, and tension-free in just as little as 2 weeks, and adds nearly a full octave to their vocal range in just as little as 2 months. And in today's video, I'm going to show you my tried and true high note singing technique that is going to help you to make these notes easier than you ever thought possible. All right, let's get into it here. So really, to make sure that we can crush and nail these high notes and make them easier than you ever thought possible, what we're really going to need to do here is we need to understand the very mechanics of why you keep messing up on the high notes in the first place. So earlier, how I was saying, it's not a matter of what you're doing when you sing, but it is where you're doing it inside of your voice. And essentially, the where that you're going for is that whenever you're trying to hit a higher note, you want to do it from a place that is known as cry vocal mode. So what cry vocal mode is it's basically us using the very same muscles that we all use when we were babies to whine and cry and complain and moan, and to use those to activate these higher note muscles inside of our voices. Because, you know, we all know that a baby can go and cry and go, wah, 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 scream and cry all day long, but you never ever hear of babies losing their voices. But I get it time and time and time again to where students will reach out to me and say, hey, Isaiah, I am just dying at the end of my performances. By the end of every show, my song is totally shot. I can make it through maybe 2, maybe 3 songs tops, and I'm totally gone. And also, I've heard similar things too, even from just like, you know, typical school teachers or public speakers, to where just from speaking, their voice gets really, really tired at the end of the day. And the reason being is because when we're adults, we actually start to form bad habits and we lose the ability to activate these cry vocal mode muscles that allow us to be able to get into these higher parts of our range without any cracking, breaking, tension, or straining inside of our singing. So we're going to get into the cry vocal mode activating exercise here, but I do want to preface, this exercise is extremely, extremely effective, but also is extremely, extremely dangerous to do if you have not warmed up your voice. So real quick, I'm going to show you just like it's a super quick warm up that you can do. So just watch this section and, you know, replay it a couple of times and then continue on as I then get into the cry vocal mode high note exercise here. So the quickie warm up that you're going to do is just going to be a plain and simple hum from the absolute lowest note you can possibly hit in your range to just the absolute highest note you can possibly hit in your range. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, up and down, back and forth like that until you are just totally, completely exhausted out of air. So do about like 5, preferably, ideally 10 of those in a row, back and forth, before proceeding to the next cry vocal mode exercise that we're going to go into here. All right, so now that you've done that here, the exercise is going to help you to activate this cry mode to really, really help you be able to hit these higher notes. It's what's known as doing what we call whine humming. So kind of similar to the regular basic humming that we did, but because it's cry vocal mode, we're adding a sadness, a moaniness to the way that we're doing it. So it's going to sound kind of like, you see the difference there. I'm not just going, I'm going, and you see like the poutiness that's inside of my face as I'm doing this. That's not just for show, that's extremely, extremely important so that it activates the right type of muscles so that we cannot change what we're doing, but just simply where we're doing it in the voice so that the sound can actually resonate and reach all those higher different types of pitches that we're trying to get to here. Okay? So let's try this again. Let's go. Sitting doing those slides. Doesn't really matter the specific area in which you're doing it in. Just nice little up and down slides on that plain and simple little whine hum. So one thing that really helps a lot of students to do this effectively and properly is, believe it or not, thinking of very sad thoughts while you're doing the exercise, which I know it sounds silly, but for 80% of you watching this, you're probably going to have to really put your focus on a sad thought to make sure that you're activating those cry vocal mode muscles so that we can really reach, expand our range, and really hit those notes with power. So one thing that always helps me to get into a sad mood when I'm singing is thinking about my ex. Obviously, I'm joking there. You know, think about whatever makes you sad. You know, maybe it's your ex, maybe it's your current partner, maybe it's your boss, friend, family member, coworker, just like whatever it is that puts you in a sad mood. Like, as silly as it sounds, like full seriousness, it's really going to help you to do this exercise significantly more effectively. Okay, so let's try this again. Sad thoughts, sad thoughts. The other thing too is we're doing these slides up and down, back and forth, till we're totally and completely out of air. And I know some of you are watching this and thinking, Isaiah, it doesn't matter that much that I need to get in a sad mood, and this is just similar to regular basic humming. Why is adding a whine going to make any difference? Well, let me tell you this. What do you think is the number one thing that separates an average singer from a top-notch celebrity level singer? Not much. There is not much that all the singers that you want to sing like, that you aspire to sound like, are doing that you are doing. They're just making these minor tweaks that make a major difference. So think about it this way. So like, for example, in the Olympics, I believe like last year's Olympic record for the short distance run was about like 10.92 seconds. And the person that came in second place, their distance was about like 10.1 seconds. Now, for most countries, if you end up winning the gold medal in the Olympics, they will shower you with brand sponsorships. You'll even get a pension where all your expenses paid for literally for the rest of your life. You get the all these other different awards and accolades, all for coming in first place. You know what they give the second place winner? Jack freaking squat. But all they did was, it was a not much tweak, just a few fractions of a second faster. But that made the major difference in getting the gold versus getting the silver or getting the bronze. And that's why these little minor tweaks are what's going to make the major difference inside of your singing. In fact, a lot of what I like to call the natural singer, Nancy singers, the other people that you are like, man, why are they just so good at this and I'm struggling with it? They're doing this and they're paying attention to these minor little tweaks that I'm emphasizing, but they're just not aware of the fact that they're doing it. But I'm here telling you, oh, hey, here's what they're doing. Just simply implement what they're doing so you can get the same results that they was getting. Okay, so Let's do one more of these whine hum slides. So it'll look like 1, 2, 3. All right, back and forth till you are just completely out of air. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do here to take this whine hum even further and to make things even more effective for helping you to hit high notes is we're going to do this whine hum, but we're going to do it in what is known as your golden spot range. So your golden spot range, it's something that I had learned from my old vocal coach years ago. It was a man by the name of Sean Morgan, who he trained Katy Perry long before she was famous. And I had the blessing and immense privilege to have taken lessons with him. And there were so many things that he had taught me to advance my voice. But the core foundation of what he taught me was the essence of finding your unique golden spot range. And he'd explained to me that your golden spot range is essentially, it's a group of 7 notes unique to everybody, just like their fingerprint. So mine different from yours different from your mom, dad, brother, sister, best friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, you name it. But when you find what those specific 7 are unique to you, they essentially become the teeny tiny domino that's going to knock down all the other bigger dominoes of your singing problems. So the process of how we're going to find your unique golden spot is going to look like this. So we're just going to go on the keyboard here, and we're just going to take any random note. And if you don't have a keyboard at home, you can just like download any like piano app or just Google like virtual piano. It doesn't really matter. But just pick any random note you just naturally feel comfortable on singing. Does not matter at all. Do not overthink the note. Just any random note you comfortably can sing. And we're going to start on a nice, simple little la. And what we're going to keep doing is we are going to keep going one note at a time up the piano, higher and higher and higher, until we start to get to where we feel a crack, a break, a shift, or a strain inside of our voices. And pay close attention to that, because when you start to feel that crack, shift, break, or strain inside of your voice, that's going to be an indicator of where the center point of your golden spot is going to be. And now everyone's a little different with this, but for some of you, it's going to be extremely subtle where you feel that crack, break, shift, strain, or tension. Even if it's a 1% crack, break, shift, strain, or tension, take note of it, because that's still going to be where the center of this golden spot is going to be. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. La, 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 la. La, and I'm intentionally pretending that this is where my voice has that little crack, break, shift, strain, or tension. So I found this note here is, my little center note. And now what we're simply going to do is, so we have just identified where the center of our golden spot range is. We now need to figure out where this golden spot range begins. So we're simply going to count down 7 notes, including the note that we started on and including the black keys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that places us here right at an F. So now we've just found the beginning of our golden spot range, guess what? We now need to find where this golden spot range ends. So what we're now simply going to do is going to go back to our original center place note that we found, and we're going to just count up 7 notes, including the note we started on and including the black keys. So it's going to look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this brings us here to another F, but just simply the octave above. So what we just found here is what is known as your unique and specific golden spot range. And the significance of it is this. Let's say someone held a gun up to your head and said, hey, you got 24 hours to audition for America's Got Talent and win. Otherwise, I'm pulling the trigger. The absolute best use of your 24 hours to save your life is to work on all the notes in between this specific range. And this is, like I said, what is going to cause that massive domino effect of success inside of your voice, because it's not a matter of what we're doing, but it's simply where we're doing it. So now if we take this little whine hum that we're doing and we don't change what we're doing, but just simply where we're doing it, it's going to make things even more effective for these high notes. So let's give it a try here. And mind you, obviously in this demonstration, the golden spot I found is in this particular area of F to F. For you, it's going to be obviously different for whatever you found at home. Just practice along to whatever are those unique notes that you found for yourself, okay? So it's going to look like 1, 2, 3. You do that till you are just exhausted out of air. And that being exhausted out of air, that's a very, very important thing. Do not overlook that. There's not a single thing I'm showing you here that is just a minor haphazard, like I'm just telling you to do it because. Everything in this that I'm teaching you was very instrumental, very methodical with me selecting it. And I know some of you are still thinking, man, this is preposterous, Isaiah. We're just doing basic humming. I've done humming all day, every day. I've done humming for 5, 10, 20, 30 years. Hey, I thought the same thing too. I thought this was crazy. When I was working with my coach, Sean, for 6 months straight, all we did was just hum through my golden spot. That's it. And the thing is, I thought it was foolishness. But it took me from sounding like this.
They told me you were before me, so now I need to know. Is this a line that can save me, or say you will, then don't? Will you stay with me when nobody is around? If this is real, then tell me now. Can you hold me together? Can you love me down this far? Can you hold me together? 'Cause without you holding my heart, I'm falling apart.
To sounding like this.
Even with our differences, there's a place where we're all connected. Each of us can find each other's love. I breathe, I sing a simple melody, but I pray they'll hear more than a song in me.
So like I said, do not underestimate this stuff. It's those little teeny tiny tweaks that make a big difference. So let's try one more time here. Go down to 3. 1, 2, 3, go. All right. Oh, man, I'm so exhausted out of here at the end. Yeah. And I will say, if you mess up on everything else, but you at least do this until you are totally, totally out of air, that is going to be the absolute most important thing of this whole entire process. Because I had a student one time, they had reached out to me. They said, Isaiah, man, I was following your free YouTube content. I started doing this whole golden spot thing and, really working with it in my voice. And like, I've already added a couple of notes to my range just off of the stuff on YouTube. And, I want to now work with you. And I was like, awesome, man. And then we start working in our first lesson. And when I see him do his golden spot, I'm like, bro, you're messing up on like 95% of the exercise. You're making like every mistake in the book. But the one thing he did consistently, though, was he made sure he was doing it until he was completely and totally out of air. And he still got the gains. And the reason why is because the voice that you sing with is a muscle just like any other. And pretty much any principle you can think about, like fitness and working out, can apply one-to-one with singing. And doing this until you're out of breath is the singer's equivalent of how they kind of say no pain, no gain in the gym, to where you're pushing the muscle to its maximum. And that really is going to ensure that you're actually stretching yourself beyond your limits. And it's what's going to allow you to sing these higher notes, have more freedom, better breath support, and so many other things that you're going to see inside of your singing. So really working with a golden spot, it not only just made my singing better, made me start to have better performances, but I'm talking, this thing got me to the point to where I started getting standing ovation level performances. And also, this is just what some of my students had to say when I helped them define their golden spots. And all we did was just basic run-of-the-mill humming, like what we're doing here, but just through the golden spot.
When I see other YouTube videos, it's like I don't even have to do them now because I just do the golden spot. And I just feel like I'm wasting less time. That's what it feels like. Like doing your stuff, it's like I'm getting to my goals more quickly.
And it also just seems so much more effortless. I remember when I first started singing this song years ago, I worked on the song for like a year with my voice coach. We would meet 2 times a week. And pretty much I felt like we really didn't progress that much at all. Isn't that wild? You and I worked together for like, on this song, what, 4 weeks?
Yeah, 4 weeks.
I just feel like it's so much easier to sing, and I definitely feel a lot more confident singing it, and I just feel like I'm more in love with it now, the song.
You with these exercises, you really make us feel like superheroes, man. When we, when there's a night and day difference in these things. So thank you for that.
It just makes me think how much time people are wasting with those exercises, and so many teachers teach that stuff. You kind of think, well, that's the way you do it. So, yeah, I'm really glad I found you.
By the way, if you've been loving this video and want to go even deeper on this concept of the golden spot, plus also learn how to use it to avoid the 3 biggest mistakes that get in the way of so many different singers, be sure to click the link in the description and check out my free training called The 3 Biggest Singing Mistakes Holding Back the Songs You Write, the gigs you perform, and the albums you attempt to record. This has helped out so many of my students, and it is absolutely going to help you to get the breakthroughs you've always longed for. Now, I do want to preface that this training is not meant for just anybody. It's not really meant for your casual, typical singer that's trying to just, oh, I want to sing karaoke night for fun. Like, it's truly meant for the folks that they see singing as not just a fun hobby, but an actual calling, that they're really looking to get to the next level. They're looking to impact people with their music and, potentially even turn singing into a career one day. If that's you, you are absolutely going to adore this training, and it is going to get you so many results like it has for all of my other countless students. Okay, so another not much tweak that I want us to focus on here to really make this effective is we're going to do our simple little golden spot hum, but I want you to focus on making sure that you don't have any cracks or breaks inside of your voice as you're doing the slide. Because you notice when I do it, it's a nice smooth little. I'm not going. I'm not cracking, and also I'm not skipping notes. I'm not going like. It's not. It's one nice smooth. So this is really important because we want to make sure that every single one of the muscles in this whole spectrum of sound is being shown some love and being touched to really make sure that they can grow. And I want to be very clear, for the vast majority of you, you are not going to do this perfect and smoothly the first day it is that you try it. It might take some of you a week or two, might take some of you like a couple of weeks, but it takes usually anywhere between about 6 to about 12 weeks of doing this consistently to where you'll be able to get to the point to where it has no cracks, breaks, strains, or tension inside of it. But I still want you to focus on trying your best to make it as smooth as you can. But the crazy thing is, though, even while you're doing this and making mistakes, you'll still absolutely see gains from it. In fact, the average student I have that implements this exercise, they add an average of about 6 to 8 notes to their vocal range within about a 6 to 8 week period of implementing the exercise. And also with still implementing the exercise and making countless mistake after mistake after mistake, but they just keep doing it with all these little minor focuses and really making sure that they're doing it until they're out of breath, like I was mentioning earlier. So let's give that a try here again. So 1, 2, 3. Man, I was so out of breath this time. It took me a little bit to catch my breath to even be able to talk to you there. That's really how out of breath it is that you want to be with this. All right, so one other tweak that we can do to this to make things even more effective is adding a nice, plain, simple little squat on top of what we're doing here. So what we're simply going to do is we're going to do the same up and down, up and down, up and down, back and forth motion. But this time, right when you feel like you have just 1 to 2 seconds of air left inside of you, we're going to do a plain, simple little squat to basically squeeze that last little itty bitty bit of toothpaste out of the tube. So we'll do a little something like this. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, man. Man, that took a lot out of me. Oh, a whole lot out of me, man. Like I said, it should be so out of breath that it's hard to catch your breath to speak. And I'm sure you've probably not seen a method like this before that incorporates this much movement, this much breath work, doing different things till you're totally out of air. Well, it's really just because like here on this channel, I don't like to follow what I like to call by the book Bertha vocal techniques. You know, you'll notice in this warm up, we didn't do any scales. We didn't do any do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And the reason why is because back to how I pointed out, voice is a muscle, just like any other. When you do just a simple like scales like that, we're not putting enough pressure on the muscle to really put it in a state of growth. Really, a lot of those, once again, by the book Bertha, vocal coaches and methods and videos that you see on YouTube, they're really just doing, brutal honesty, warm-ups and nothing more. They are warming up your voice, but they are not growing your voice. The techniques you're going to learn on this channel, they're actually going to help you to grow your voice so you can actually sing the songs you want to sing, the way you want to sing them, and feel like you control your voice instead of your voice controlling you. Okay? So let's try another one here. With this squat till we're out of breath. Also remember, still have that that pouty face. Think those sad thoughts. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And back and forth until we are just totally out of air. Yeah. So do this at least 10 times every single day. Preferably do it as often as you can throughout the day, like in the shower, in the car, as often as you can. And you are not going to recognize your voice in just a matter of weeks. I promise you, I guarantee it. So that covers things for today's training. Once again, be sure to click the link in the description and check out that bonus training about really how to go deeper on this concept of the golden spot and really use it to just accelerate your voice. Also, as well, too, be sure to check out the other video that I have here where I go over how to master belting through your mixed voice.